My heart is so full. So me, the Airbnb host and the other guest that's staying here, we just went out for a drive this evening and up into the Rocky Mountains and to a small town that used to have beaver gold mining. And we stopped at this place that was serving food called the General Store, and it had live music, and it was just like, oh my god, it's like stepping back in time. It was just so cool, and it was one of those moments where like, I'm just so in the moment, and I just think, oh my god, I'm so happy right now. just not what I was expecting at all. I kind of didn't know what to expect, but what I had expected wasn't that. And just unique and nothing that I'd experienced before, and just such, yeah, such friendly vibes, and yeah, so glad I said yes because I nearly didn't. I was so, and not because I didn't want to go, it sounded amazing, but because I wasn't sure how the jet lag acclimatization recovery was going to go. And the last thing that I wanted to do was kind of get there and then feel really awful and then feel like, people would feel bad and we'd have to come back or whatever. Or that, I would sit there struggling. But yeah, I could have stayed there for ages. It was just so cool. So yes, so glad I said yes. Okay, so another episode from Bathroom Wisdom. So staying in Airbnb, and it's beautiful sayings and all sorts around the place, and there's some great books in the bathroom. So have been tapping into them. And I don't know about you, but when you do you have those moments when someone starts sharing a story, or you reading something, or you're listening to something, or watching something, and it's just like, oh yeah, I know where this is going, or this analogy seems very apt right now. So today's one is called Is This Thing Moving? By Laura Beeler, and she uses the analogy of what starts off saying, when you step on an aeroplane, it is with the decision to travel to a different location in the shortest amount of time possible. Excited for your journey, you may look out the window as the plane taxis and note the scenery of where you've been while dreaming of where you're headed. And she talks about the takeoff and looking out the window and things, and then getting to that part of the journey where it kind of feels like you're not moving at all. And we can be reading, we can be walking around the plane, eating food, the team can be preparing food, like all sorts goes on when we're going so incredibly fast. And even when I was on the way over here, a friend and I were messaging, and he said, like, it's just amazing that we're doing this and you're somewhere up there going 700 kilometers an hour. And yeah, and in the passage she talks about there can be points in our world where maybe we are resting or needing that reprieve, or maybe that we're feeling stuck. And she gives the questions of, are you able to be present to all that is happening right now? Can you interact, observe, or engage with what life is presenting to you? Can you identify what is working for you right now? What is the goodness you can focus on? And what curiosity can you invite? And what she also talks about is having a co-pilot alongside and trusting that co-pilot. And on reflection, I was thinking, that co-pilot could be so many different things for different people. It could be a faith that we've got, and faith into a higher power and feeling that alongsideness. It may be alongsideness from a coach, a mentor, or a therapist. It may be alongsideness from an elder. It may be from a friend. It may be from like a group that you have support with. It may be from a partner, like, and you know, just so such a beautiful reminder, because as I often share, that I've had a story of life is hard. Why does life have to be so hard? And yeah, like I did a lot of my healing journey on my own with a lot of books and my journal, and you know, piecing the pieces of the puzzle together. And it doesn't have to be that hard. So yeah, having some of that alongsideness, whatever that looks like, can be so powerful. And then what I also sort of was reflecting on is like that can be the sort of external alongsideness and supports and co-pilots. And we can also have the internal ones as well. So we have, you know, we can be so often just try and solve everything from our mind, but bringing our body, heart, soul and spirit in together with our mind, then yeah, we've really got a lot more that we can tap into and wisdom that we can share. Actually, that reminds me of something else that is in this home. I will share it with you. So as we were having breakfast this morning, I looked up at this blackboard that the host has in the lounge, and I smiled because this is what it says. It says, ask, then listen with a small, still voice within. Tell me more. And I just smiled as I was sat there eating my bagel, because yeah, to me that's the inside out way, and that, you know, the body, heart, soul, mind and spirit are the beautiful voices that we have within, that when we do build up a relationship with them, then we can start to, you know, really connect in with them, have questions for them, listen to their wisdom, listen to their needs, and then we can respond accordingly. So that is today's bathroom and lounge wisdom from the Airbnb. What do you want to experience more of? So this word experience has been coming up in conversations and in my thoughts quite a bit recently, and I think it's going to be very interchangeable with adventures. I think the difference that's coming up for me is adventures can often be planned, even if they're planned last minute, and it's sort of actively going to do something. For me, experiences can be that, but also it can just be about being in the right place at the right time and experiencing something. So yesterday I took a train through the Rocky Mountains to have a couple of nights away in Glenwood Springs, and I was staying at, or waiting at the motel reception, and there was a book library and the book on top. Picked it up, had a look at it, and the first chapter was about experiences. Well, who would have thought? So the author writes, I'm a big believer in the value of experiences. Experiences don't have to cost a lot of money, and they can even be free. But worthwhile experiences do usually cost some money. The unforgettable trip, the concert tickets, the pursuit of an entrepreneurial dream or a new hobby. All these experiences cost money, and sometimes they cost a lot of money. To me, that is money well worth spending. Many psychological studies have shown that spending money on experiences makes us happier than spending money on things. Unlike material possessions, which seem exciting at the beginning but then often depreciate quickly, experiences actually gain in value over time. Two thoughts. I do believe, so I don't agree with him, I do believe that we can create some worthwhile and incredibly memorable, magical experiences for absolutely no cost at all. So I don't think it's just the worthwhile experiences that are always going to cost something. But I do agree on the value of experiences, because for me that means how the ripple effect of something that we've experienced can inspire others, can give us a sense of healthy pride, can help us share information, give us more stories to tell. So yeah, I do agree with him on that. And this is what I'm really looking forward to around 21 dates, 21 days, is, yes, it can be self-care, but it also can be experiences, it can be adventures. It's really what you're wanting to get from life, what you're wanting to feel more of, what you're wanting to experience more of. And when we do, like you mentioned, when we do start showing up more and having some of these different experiences, whatever they look like to you, meeting yourself exactly where you're at, then we can really start to feel, as I say, some of that healthy pride, some of the joy, some of that sense of accomplishment, some of that connection to our values and to our true self. We can start to connect back to our playfulness, our energy, our humour, our silliness, our nonsense, our curiosity, our creativity. It's just like, oh my goodness, this is such an exciting opportunity to really be connecting in through the value of experiences to our true self. And oh my goodness, the ongoing gifts and ripple effect of what life can be like when we do that. So please take a look. Link is in the bio, or DM me for the link and join us for 21 dates, 21 days. I am so looking forward to it. And just to sum up the chapter at the end, the author asks or suggests, start actively thinking about the life experiences you'd like to have and the number of times you'd like to have them. The experiences can be large or small, free or costly, charitable or hedonistic, but think about what you really want out of this life in terms of meaningful and memorable experiences. And as I say, I would love for you to join us in 21 dates, 21 days, and let's get these experiences happening.